I'm out on a walk today talking about one of the most important questions you can ask yourself. That question is, does money buy happiness?
I need 3 words to tear her argument apart. Your granny lied. I'd rather be shiny like a treasure from a sunken pirate wreck.
We spend about 1/3 of our life getting and making money, so we need to know exactly how much benefit that's going to do for us.
I work on Wall Street, with the big buildings. And I live in an apartment with a doorman, and I can buy almost anything I want.
Oh, if you want to know the answer to the question, the answer is yes. Money does buy happiness. And no, it doesn't.
Yo, if I won the lotto tomorrow, well, I know I wouldn't bother going on no spending spree. I pick a business school and pay the entrance fee. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll stay friends with me. I'll be a businessman richer than Nina's daddy. Tiger Woods and I on the links, and he's my caddy. My money's making money. I'm going from pole to moto. Keep the bling. I want the brass ring like Frodo.
When you're poor, then actually money can buy a lot of happiness as it buys the needs that you need to have.
When money buys you out of the burdens of homelessness, of not knowing where your next meal will come from, it changes your happiness dramatically.
So why is it a yes and a no? Well, it's kind of like going on a walk. You'll be walking along, and all of a sudden, you're still walking, but you're not getting anywhere. Like, what the heck? I was getting somewhere, but then you look down and you realize you're on a treadmill. Oh my goodness, I'm on a treadmill.
But once you have basic needs met, more money doesn't seem to buy more happiness. The difference in happiness between a person who earns $5,000 and $50,000 is dramatic. The difference in happiness between a person who earns $50,000 and $50 million is not dramatic.
Doesn't matter. No matter what you're doing, it goes faster also. Somebody get me off this treadmill.
The idea goes back to this notion of the hedonic treadmill, which says that whatever level of wealth or material goods you have, you adapt to it and you'll always want more. That's what the hedonic treadmill is.
The hedonic adaptation is one of the main enemies of happiness.
The relationship between money and happiness looks like this. When you are poor, money can actually buy a lot of happiness. But once you reach a certain level, it starts to level off and you start finding yourself on a treadmill. The more and more effort you put into, the less you get out of it, like this. For instance, owners of this very expensive Bugatti are about as happy as the owners of this Toyota Corolla.
Waiter.
Sir?
Can I?
Of course.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. What?
Also, owners of a house like this are about as happy as owners of a house like this. Plus, these guys have a lot less bathrooms to clean as well. I can't seem to get off the treadmill, but at least I got a headband now. Not really getting anywhere. Putting a lot of energy into this. Still staying in the same place. The hedonic treadmill that they mention is basically that as you get nicer and nicer things, you have a temporary boost in happiness, but eventually you go back to baseline the way you were before. One of the reasons why we stay on the treadmill is because our desires never stop, so we're never satisfied. So we just keep going and going and going, but it never gets us anywhere the whole time.
The other thing we know from a decade of research at this point is that people who were more oriented towards money and status and image were reporting less satisfaction with their lives. They were more depressed, more anxious. We found that they felt less vital, less sort of energized in their day-to-day life. On the other hand, intrinsically oriented people were more happy. They were reporting more vitality, less depression, less anxiety.
Tolkien called this dragon sickness in his books, which is a greed and desire for more and more things, but never ever being satisfied.
The quest is fulfilled. You've won the mountain. Is that not enough?
The best way to get off the treadmill is to actually realize when you hit the top of the curve and realize that it's not going to get you any further.
Maybe instead of, the whole world, start small with the tri-state area.
You gotta see the wealth for what it actually does and what it is. Kind of like this.
Wow! The shiny, glittery cave! And just like me, it is covered in sparkly treasure. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
Money ain't got no soul. Money ain't got no heart. All you need is some self-control. Make yourself a brand new start.
Even Thorin Oakenshield, the one with dragon sickness, figured it out in the end also.
If more people valued home above gold, this world would be a merry place.
If you're really seeing it for what it is, you can see it's more of a distraction from the things you actually need to do to be happy.
I have the... Wait a minute. I see. She's taken a barnacle, and she's covered it in bioluminescent algae as a diversion.
Finally got off the treadmill here with Master Oogway, and just remind you to subscribe and like also.
You greedy dirtbag!